Now that he's a Netflix producer, along with his 8-adult wife, Michelle, he's producing more racial division. The latest is called Leave the World Behind. It's a fictional thriller about the collapse of technology and what humans would do with no phones or computers. The movie follows a family on vacation at a rental house, and one night they're visited by a father and a daughter who show up seeking shelter. They say their phones no longer work and they need a place to stay. So immediately the white family, because they're evil, that's included in their DNA of course, is suspicious of the visitors because they're black. And it goes on and on and on like this. Here's a clip.
I'm asking for you to remember that if the world falls apart, trust should not be doled out easily to anyone, especially white people.
Can't trust white people. They're evil. This is the guy, remember, who became famous at the Democratic Convention in 2004 by telling us there is no white America, there's no black America, it's just one America. But of course, that's not really a profit model in politics, is it? So he's been stoking race hatred ever since, and the disarray around us is the result.
The world knows the story, or at least the one they were sold. Barack and Michelle Obama, the epitome of modern royalty. He was the charismatic leader with the $1 million smile. She was the brilliant and graceful First Lady. Together, they projected an image of effortless, cool intellectual superiority and an unbreakable bond that captivated the globe. They weren't just a political couple. They were a cultural phenomenon, a brand built on the promise of hope, change, and a
is Michelle Obama.
Watch.
Oh, man.
A former first lady with her own podcast.
I'm Michelle Obama. People line up for my advice.
No, not her. This former first lady.
I'm Megyn O. People need to hear from me. Many people don't understand. Not much is covered in the White House.
It's expensive to live in the White House. We made it through.
We got out alive.
But what happened to me?
What happened to me? No one talks about me. No,
photos and inspiring speeches, a different story was taking shape. For years, whispers have haunted the edges of their public life. Persistent, nagging rumors of a marriage on the brink of collapse. Tabloids screamed about impending divorce, citing sources who claimed the fairy tale was a sham. While it was easy to dismiss as gossip, the first real crack in their public armor came from Michelle herself. In a revealing podcast,
Folks think we're divorced.
Look, these are the kinds of things that I just miss, right? So I don't even know this stuff's going on.
Right.
And then somebody will mention it to me and I'm all like, what are you talking about?
People think that they're on the outs because they're not always in the same room together, Maureen. That's
One of the most interesting moments in the 2008 campaign occurred when a man, like Obama himself, came from out of nowhere to recount his experiences with Barack Obama, the man. His name was Larry Sinclair, and he told an amazing story. He said that in 1999, he had encountered Barack Obama in Illinois, Barack Obama, and then used
that single comment opened the floodgates, and suddenly people began to notice a pattern. This wasn't just harmless teasing. In interview after interview, Michelle's public comments about her husband carried a sharp edge. Observers noted that her ratio of public criticism to praise was overwhelmingly one-sided, perhaps 99-1. She spoke of their marriage as hard work, but her tone often sounded less like a partner sharing struggles and more like an executive airing grievances about an underperforming employee. Each jab delivered with a smile.
The Cy Hirsch piece, here's the cliff notes. Obama colludes with Nancy Pelosi and Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer. Sunday morning calls Biden and says, you're done. Kamala's gonna 25th Amendment you, and you gotta step aside.
And who places the call?
Obama.
Obama does.
So Obama calls the sitting president and tells him, you're done. Then
the verbal jabs were one thing, but their actions spoke even louder. The image of a united front began to crumble as Barack was repeatedly spotted at major events alone. He attended the funeral for former President Jimmy Carter solo. He was seen at basketball games, out to dinner, and on vacations with their daughters, while his wife was conspicuously absent. The public began asking questions. Where was Michelle? Each solo appearance fueled the speculation that they were living.
So when he does, I was like, wait a minute. What's going on here? And he's like, I'm teasing you, right? And I was like, none of that.
Because he likes to tease.
Oh my God, yeah. But when me, Malia, and Sasha all of us are together, he doesn't stand a chance. We mercilessly go after him.
I believe that. I have no doubt you do, because you do it publicly whenever you can. You. When was the last time you said anything kind about him? Like, it's a 99-to-1 ratio in your public comments. So that's their rule. She and her daughters can tease him mercilessly, and he is not allowed to say anything.
While the world was focused on his personal life, a far more explosive story was brewing about his political influence. According to a stunning report from legendary investigative journalist Seymour Hersh, Barack Obama never truly left power. He's not a retired statesman enjoying his golden years. He's a shadow president, the master puppeteer pulling the strings of the entire Democratic Party. Hersh's sources paint a picture of a man who operates from the shadows, wielding immense control over the political landscape. This isn't just influence, it's a covert...
Did you see the video of Biden at the debate in 2007 announcing that Barack Obama had an AIDS test?
I know Barack got tested for AIDS.
Oh, it's the funniest video ever. Biden said, well, I think, AIDS is a real problem in the African-American community.
And the community's engaged in denial.
And I think we should all get AIDS tests. I mean, Barack Obama had an AIDS test.
I know Barack got tested for AIDS.
There's a cutaway of Obama being like, I hate you.
It's an important thing.
Then Biden's like, which is totally good. And I think he's negative, but I mean, all men should get an AIDS.
There's no shame in being tested for AIDS.
Obama is so mad.
The plan, as laid out by Hersh's insiders, is as audacious as it is terrifying. It allegedly begins with a single phone call. Barack Obama picks up the phone and calls the sitting president of the United States, Joe Biden. The message is brutal and direct. You're done. He allegedly informs Biden that his time is up, that the 25th Amendment is on the table, and that he has no choice but to step aside. Imagine the chilling...
She's on the record. They can pretend all they want that it's just tabloid fodder that has led people to think they're on the outs. That oh yes, he appeared without her, here or there, and people... No. Okay, first of all, she didn't go to the Trump inauguration. She didn't go to the Jimmy Carter funeral. He's been spotted out at basketball games and out to dinner with their daughters repeatedly without her. You'd be hard-pressed to find a recent picture of the two of them together.
But the alleged coup doesn't end there. After dispatching the sitting president, Obama then turns his attention to the vice president. He supposedly anoints Kamala Harris as the next nominee, but her promotion comes with a cold-blooded ultimatum. She's told that if she fails to gain traction, if her popularity numbers don't rise to his satisfaction, they will take her out too. This move reveals the true depth of his alleged control. It's not about democracy or the will of the voters. It's about his will. He becomes the kingmaker and the executioner, deciding the fate of the nation's leaders from his secluded mansions.
This 16-page document, and they say, Mr. President-elect, wait till you see the cool things we're doing all around the world. And they've sucked him in. They made him one of the guys. And then we get the feedback at the CIA. Oh, the president loved this. The president had a follow-up question on that. Oh, the president said, oh my God, when he read this.
Well, it almost sounds like you're psychologically profiling the president.
Oh, I think that's exactly what they do.
And so they use the tools that they have employed for decades to subvert foreign governments to subvert their own government.
Long before he was a puppeteer, there were other skeletons in his closet. Scandals so toxic they were systematically buried by a compliant media. In the midst of the 2008 election, a man named Larry Sinclair came forward with a story that should have ended Obama's career. Sinclair claimed that in 1999, he had spent a wild night with the then Illinois state senator. His detailed account...
Speaking of Barack Obama, he decided to drop a post on X today, and I thought, okay, maybe in the wake of the Pete Hegseth presser, he's going to say something like, no matter how you feel about the Iranian strike, hats off to our, boys in blue, our guys in the bombers. He went a different way. This is what it was.
Curious how you're thinking about this eulogy specifically in the moment and all the tensions that you just brought out.
I didn't even want to talk. I was so mad. Part of the reason I think I ended up having anything to say at that moment was when I heard some of the victims' families forgive the shooter. And then I thought, all right, let's see if maybe this is a way America can hear me
The Sinclair
at this
story
moment.
took a sinister turn with the involvement of another man, Donald Young, the openly gay choir director at Obama's church in Chicago. Young had allegedly confided in friends that he too was involved with Obama. Just as whispers of this were beginning to surface in late 2007, a tragedy occurred. Donald Young was found brutally murdered, executed in his own apartment. The case was never solved. For those paying attention, the timing was horrifying. A key
But I'd never read that Donald Young, this man Donald Young, called you and told you that he knew you'd had sex with Barack Obama.
That was the contact in late 2007 that I had that originally came under the guise that they were part of the Obama
With
campaign.
a past shrouded in controversy, how does Obama maintain his grip? He evolves. He is no longer just a politician. He's a Hollywood producer with a multi-million-dollar Netflix deal. His latest project, Leave the World Behind, offers a disturbing window into his post-presidential mindset. The film, a fictional thriller about the collapse of society, seems to be less about entertainment and more about delivering a pointed political message. It's a masterclass in using culture to shape public perception.
You're done. Then tells Kamala Harris, you're going to be the nominee, but if you don't gain traction, if you're not popular, we're going to take you out too. I mean, it's all shocking. It sounds true.
If, in fact, the 25th Amendment is worthy of being invoked.
Yes.
If his condition is such that it needs to be invoked and then they don't invoke it, then they're leaving the country in a precarious position of being led by a man not in possession of his faculties. If, on the other hand, it's not.
The core message of Leave the World Behind is shockingly divisive. The plot hinges on the idea that in a crisis, white people are inherently untrustworthy and dangerous. One of the film's most memorable lines is a direct warning to a young black character. Trust should not be doled out easily to anyone, especially white people. This comes from the same man who launched his career with his famous 2004 speech declaring there was no...
Yeah, but when me, Malia, and Sasha all of us are together, he doesn't stand a chance. We mercilessly go after him.
I believe that. I have no doubt you do, because you do it publicly whenever you can. You. When was the last time you said anything kind about him? I mean, like, it's a 99-to-1 ratio in your public comments. So that's their rule. She and her daughters can tease him mercilessly, and he is not allowed to say anything about becoming over there on
The darkness that seems to trail the Obamas followed them even to their idyllic, multi-million-dollar estate in Martha's Vineyard. In the summer of 2023, tragedy struck when their personal chef and close friend Tafari Campbell passed away. The official narrative was that Campbell, an inexperienced paddleboarder, fell into the water and tragically drowned. He was out on the water near the Obama family home, a peaceful setting that was about to become the center of a...
I know. How do you not stop, especially when your husband was commander-in-chief for 8 years, and think there will be people who hear this clip who have no arms and legs thanks to these wars that we fought in Iraq and Afghanistan. I mean, I know some of them, and they will drag themselves out to run the Tunnel to Towers race and other races to raise money for other suffering veterans and firefighters who got hurt on 9/11 and so on, and their families are surviving, who have actual problems that were basically brought on them by the government.
Almost immediately, the official story began to unravel for online investigators. Friends of Campbell came forward stating he was an expert swimmer, which contradicted the narrative. The initial reports were confusing and seemed to change. A 911 call was reportedly made from the Obama residence, but the identity of the caller and the details of the call were never made public. Questions mounted. Why did it take so long to find his body in This pattern of chaos hidden behind a calm facade is, for his critics, the hallmark of his presidency. He was the architect of policies now seen as abject failures, all sold with his signature charisma. His crown jewel, the Affordable Care Act, was promised to lower costs and provide health insurance for all. For millions, it did the opposite. Premiums and deductibles skyrocketed. making insurance virtually unusable for many middle-class families. They were forced to abandon doctors they trusted. So, who is the real Barack Obama? When you pull back the curtain, the image of the flawless leader dissolves. In its place is a man at the center of a web of contradictions, a fractured marriage hidden by a PR machine, a shadow presidency manipulating the nation's future, a dark past mired in scandal and death, and a post-presidency spent profiting from the very divisions he swore to heal. His legacy is not one of simple hope and change, but of complexity, calculation, and chaos. As he continues to influence our world from his powerful perch, the question remains, was he ever the man we thought he was, or are we only now, after all these years, seeing the man who was behind the mask all along?